We're speaking with Rosalie Escobedo, Michael Padilla, and Troy Jackson. They are delegates to the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so my first question is, how excited are you about attending this? And what message are you looking to hear come out of the convention? Ladies first, Rosalie, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited. I was an alternate in 2020. I didn't get to go. So actually being able to go in person, I'm totally just ramped up for this. I'm looking for a few things, and I think that President Trump and I think the delegacy will deliver. I'm looking for a message of strong security, a strong sealed border, of opportunity, inflation, all the things that we're struggling with for those to be eradicated. I am looking for a moral message. I'm looking for something that isn't going to appeal just to centrists, but to make sure that they have their base solid. And I'm looking for a message of election integrity.
Michael.
I'm extremely excited. First time to attend, and it's been a lifelong dream for me. The message that I'm looking for is a message of hope for our young conservative Republicans throughout the state of Texas. A hope that the parties re-energize and revitalize to do the hard work we need to do to get the votes out in November. And I'm hoping to connect with other delegates to learn best practices and understand what they're doing in their precincts to get the vote out. So that's the message I'm looking for.
And Troy.
Well, I'm excited to be going yet again. I love it every time I've gone. And in this role, it's going to be different for me because as a delegate, I'm going to be in more of a coaching role. Coaching those people like Michael and Rosalie and so many others that have never gone before, and helping them to cultivate and navigate the madness that can happen when everyone has different language that they would like to see with regarding secure borders or election integrity, and helping people understand how to make a compromise on language that doesn't compromise your values. And so that's going to be more my focus this particular time. But I do want to see I want to see secure border language. I don't want to see this watered down stuff that I just saw, where now we're changing the verbiage on the sanctity of life. I don't want to see these things where we're watering down our foundation just to get to fewer pages in our platform. We have to stay fortified in our beliefs. If they're our beliefs, they have to stay our core beliefs. They can't change.
And let me ask you about that, because there is some concern I've heard among Republicans about, how united is the party going to be if there are disagreements over what appears in the platform. So, Troy, talk to me a little bit about that.
And there are going to be some strong disagreements over these things. And it's because the language, they're trying to adjust the language to appeal to people that are center of the road or centrist. However, we should not be changing our language to appeal to centrist people. We should be educating those centrist people on why we stand where we stand. And because we say we're the party of that we follow the word of God. And if we follow the word of God, then let's follow the word of God, and let's not water down, because, we're not supposed to be taking away or adding to his word. And so if we're supposed to be that biblical, godly party that we have professed to be and that we have stood to be for many decades, let's be that, and let's educate people on why we are that and what that means, and why we're taking the stances that we're taking. It's not our job to appeal to people that don't have our beliefs. If they don't have our beliefs, there are other parties out here that advocate for what they believe, and we should just tell them, go to those parties. We're not going to lessen our stances on these issues just to appeal to the broad audience. We're going to bring in those people that care about what we care about. And if you don't care about what we care about, then that's between you and God.
Yeah.
Rosalie, you are shaking your head in agreement.
I'm very passionate about this. I'm actually a walk-awayer. So I grew up as a Democrat in the family. But what really was pivotal to me was the issue of life. God started dealing with me on the issue of life. And come to find out, I'm very much a conservative Christian. And so for us to water down and dilute it, now where do I belong, right? So we have to be true to ourselves. We will survive as a constitutional republic if we are a moral people, if we are a well-informed electorate. So if we start bending these morality and we're not adhering to biblical morality, then we are doing a huge disservice, because our power, and let's be honest, is in the platform of Jesus Christ. And so we go there, and we go there as ambassadors. We go there to legislate in the heavenlies, and we go there to be exactly who we are, and that will pull people into the fold. And if it doesn't, then like Troy said, there are other parties that are out there for those people.
Michael.
Yes, well, I want to follow up on Troy's comment about education. In Collin County, as a precinct chair, I think that's one of my crucial duties here, to knock on doors or at gatherings and educate both conservatives and non-conservatives about our values, about our platforms, about our goals. And I think that's the only way we're going to expand the knowledge of the individual American citizen, and then they can start voting the way they feel is correct for them.
So I want to ask, because obviously former President Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, is going to be announcing who his vice presidential pick is going to be. And so I'd like to find out from each of you, who are your top choices and why? Michael, we'll start with you on this.
Well, I think J.D. Vance is a great choice for President Trump. He's strong and tough, smart, and he'll play that perfect supportive role that President Trump needs.
And Troy.
I like J.D. Vance a lot. I also like Byron Donaldson and Mark Robinson. I think Mark Robinson is very strong, but I know Mark has his heart set on being governor of North Carolina. I wish he would change his mind, but I don't think he's willing to at this point. But I think either the J.D. Vance or the Mark Robinson. I know, but I'm not sure Byron Donalds is interested, but I believe that J.D. Vance or Mark Robinson would be excellent in that role.
And Rosalie.
So I recently heard that Trump called J.D. Vance a young Abraham Lincoln by the way he looks. So when he's complimentary, he's kind of telling you what he's feeling, but we really won't know. He's really hiding it until the last minute. It's going to be a big reveal. I personally like Byron Donalds. You know, his name hasn't really been tossed out there a lot. I like that he's MAGA. I like that he's pro 2A. I like that he's strong family. And I like that he comes from a harder upbringing. And so he really knows what it takes. He also put his hat for Speaker of the House, shows that he's a true fighter, and he's not willing, and he's really willing to go against the swamp. It even says it on his website.
So you're about to go to Milwaukee, and it comes at a time where Democrats are having a conversation among themselves about whether President Biden should stay in the race or whether he should step aside and not run for another 4 years. And I'm wondering, do you think that is it better for Republicans if Biden is in the race or not? And Rosalie, let's start with you.
Okay, we all saw the debate, and we all saw snippets of debate, if we haven't, right, on social media at this point. He's the weakest link. So for him to run will be impeccable for us. Of course, we still have to hold on to the standards of election integrity to make sure that we get past the finish line. When you're looking at other people like Kamala Harris, before, he went into that debate, she was polling lower than him. He was polling at phenomenally low numbers. And then Gavin Newsom was polling even lower than Kamala. So who do they have? I think if they're going to have a threat to us, and I think they already know this, so I feel okay with saying this live or on video, is that they would have to have someone under 65 years old. They would have to have someone with really big name recognition and popularity, and that would be a person that would actually be detrimental to us. But the way it stands right now, we have been telling people for the past 6+ years that he's cognitively not there. We were gaslit, and we were gaslit by the media, and now all of the U.S. populace has it to see. And unfortunately, we were done a huge disservice by him being propped up for so long.
Michael.
I think President Biden should stay in the race. There's going to be a lot of hurdles to overcome to change out the nominee, and it's better for us to run against him, given what Rosalie has said. I also like to build on the fact that what she said about election integrity. Not so much who's going to run in their place, it's how those votes are going to be counted and kept secured. I'm really worried about a repeat of the last presidential election from that perspective.
And Troy.
Well said, Michael. That is the election integrity is a big concern. However, I think, Jack, at this point, because of how the Democrats are touting Biden's accomplishments, that there actually are none. I think we have it in we as long as there's the election integrity pieces there, I think we have it in the bag no matter who they choose, because everyone is choosing to talk about how well he's done for our economy, how well he's done on our foreign policy, how well he's done on our borders. And the evidence is all around us that he hasn't done well in any of those areas. I mean, I just saw raw milk the other day, $26.99 a gallon, that used to be $7.99 a gallon. So how is that? How are those economic policies good for America?
And we'll let that be the last word. Troy Jackson, Rosalie Escobedo, and Michael Padilla. Thank you all so much. Safe travels up to Milwaukee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.